Guys, Jimmy from Core Offroad. We're here this morning to give you a run through on our new GTU model. Now, a lot of you may have seen Bluey, our previous GTU display vehicle. Now, Bluey was a wonderful car and we love the canopy design, but there was a few things that we needed to change and work on. The main thing with Bluey was the actual functional side of the kitchen and the bench height of the GTU. Now, one of the main things is on Bluey, for example, our previous GTU model, the bench height was around my chest height. Now, that was on a Ranger with a 3-inch lift and a set of 34-inch tyres. Now, as customers go through, say a 79 series with a 4-inch lift and 35s, which is very common these days, you're talking bench heights, around my shoulder height by the time you have a slide-out table. So one of the main focuses with our redesign of our GTU was to try and lower them bench heights while still having the kitchen functional and usable. So come with me, we'll give you a run through on our new GTU design. So as you can see, one of the main functions of the GTU is the kitchen. Now we've got to remember this model is designed to be full standalone. It's a full liveaboard vehicle, so the kitchen for us, from the design point of view, is paramount. Easy open, easy close system with auto open and gas strut assist. In all honesty, I'm proud of us and I'm proud of our team and design team for what we've come up with. As you can see with the bench space, we've got plenty of room and we're running zero height from the canopy. So essentially, if you did have a big lifted cruiser, your GTU tabletop will be at the same height as your canopy floor. Now, in relation to the GTU, we've got 2 sets of lighting. One, we wanted some for ambient lighting, so I can go through, turn off the pantry lights. We have table lighting that'll light up through, so at night, after dinner, once you're finished, you want a bit of lighting around your campsite, but you don't want to be blinded. Keep your table lighting on. When you do have the kitchen deployed, what we wanted to try and factor in with the kitchen is tall storage. Now that's one thing a lot of people always forget about, is storing a bottle of oil, some tomato sauce, a bottle of rum is always a requirement. So in one side we've got tall storage along with short storage for both plates and bowls and cups and everything. We've also got a little spice rack built in up on the top and then another storage section up the top. Moving around to the other side, we've got our travel buddy oven, which is standard in a couple of our canopies. What we wanted to have was a travel buddy on the outside so that while you are traveling, if you wanted to put something in or you wanted to pull your damper out as you're going along, you can pull over on the side of the road. You don't have to deploy the kitchen to get to your travel buddy. Second thing was knives and forks. Now, cutlery is always a bit of a pain in any canopy or camper trailer. So what we come up with was a dedicated cutlery drawer, right, with movable dividers. So in each model you get 4 dividers and it's up to the customer. They can move these to anywhere they want. On this customer's canopy, we've got it set up with spoons at the front, forks, knives, and then a large area for tongs, all that kind of stuff. For any ultimate touring setup, you need to have a sink. So on this side, we've factored in Dometic's flick mixer, along with lighting around the tap to provide a bit of lighting on the other side. Now, the sink side of it, the sink actually pops back out and there's another infill panel that goes in. So while you're cooking, if you have a gas cooker, for example, and you're cooking dinner, you can go through, sit your gas cooker on here. Once you finish dinner and you pack your gas cooker away, you can pop the infill panel out, pop the sink in, do your dishes, all that kind of stuff. The main side with the sink was we needed to have a drying area as well. If you are doing the dishes, you can sit a little tea towel down onto here, stack your dishes up, let everything dry out. Once you are finished, you can then use the sink as a drying rack. Water pump, all connected, running water and hot water from the Joolca hot water system. When you're finished with your sink, pop your sink out, put your infill plate back in, and you've got a nice flat bench top ready to use your gas cooker or your barbecue. do your makeup in the morning, brush your teeth, all sorts. As standard with our GTU model, it comes with a Dometic CRX 110. Now, we have heaps of customers come through, they call from all around Australia. They say to us, why do we run uprights? Now, one of the main things is with running an upright, we remove the, say, $900 to $1,000 cost for a drop-down fridge slide. We also save around 30 to 40 kilos by not having a drop-down fridge slide. And in all honesty, since I was 18, from when I bought my first chest fridge to moving to uprights, I would never ever go back to a chest fridge. One of the main things I hated about a chest fridge was that in the morning, when you get up to make a coffee, you've got everything from dinner the previous night sitting on top of all of your food. You pull the milk out and everything falls in the milk hole. You've then got to pull everything back out again to stick the milk in. Now, I know a lot of people love chest fridges. They've got their place, don't get me wrong, but in a touring setup, an upright fridge, especially with Dometic's CRX range, you can't go past it. Little things from food storage through to eggs in the top, a bottle of wine, milk in the door. Like we always say to customers, if chest fridges were so good, why do we have uprights at home? You know, simple storage things with freezer compartments. You know, all the touring that we've done and I've done with my family, when you're driving around, you go through, you open up to get your bag of lettuce and your tomatoes out of your chest fridge. If for some reason it's fallen down to one side where the evaporative cooling unit is in the fridge, your bag of lettuce is now frozen and it's going to turn to mush. Half of your tomato is frozen and unusable. You pull your butter out and your butter's down on one side and it's that hard you tear your bread apart trying to butter your sandwich. Moving along, we've got our electrical panel. Now with our GTU model, there is so much gear packed into it, so one of the main changes is the sound system. So we've teamed up with Fusion, we're running their black box system. So as you can see up in the doors, the two Fusion speakers are integrated into the door. The black box system will link up to the Fusion Link app on your phone, and you've got power, volume and controls along with all the functions on your phone also. As standard in the GTU model, we've gone a top-of-gree water counter system. One thing with water is that when you are out camping, water consumption is paramount. So what we wanted to do was factor something in so that our customers could actually control or know how much water they're using and how much they've got left. Now, as on all of our canopies, we have custom-made water tanks that fit up underneath our chassis that are made specifically for Core Offroad. With that, the 100-litre tank, the top-of-gree system is programmed so that when you fill your tank, the water comes out the breather, you know that it's full. You basically reset your top-of-gree system and it counts down and tells you exactly how many litres you have left in the tank. Standard on nearly all of our canopy packages is the Enerdrive ePro, your battery management system, our fuses and switches, compressor fuse, and all of the control and wiring for the canopy. Now the GTU model comes standard with all of these features, along with an Enerdrive BTEC 125 amp hour battery. 300 litre compressor is stored in behind the drawers, so easy access. If you do need to get to the compressor, you can pop the two drawers out, takes 2 seconds, and you can get to the compressor and the battery in behind the drawers. So one thing we're going to touch on a little bit more, firstly, just it's not specific to only the GTU, it's on every one of our canopy models, but the adjuster plate. Now, with the locking system for the doors, it's a twin bar system. So basically when you turn the handle, these two rollers come out and lock the canopy door shut. Now, I was unfortunately tasked with this in the design with dealing with the rubber seals and finding a rubber seal that would not only seal the canopy, but keep dust out and water out. What we didn't want with our seals was we want it to be zero height, so that when you're loading gear into your canopy, there's next to no way that you can damage the rubber seal, as opposed to a pinch weld rubber or a pinch weld seal that is typically found in the industry. So with that, as most rubber seals, they do sometimes bed in over time. Now, previously with my canopy, when I rang the manufacturer to adjust my doors, he said pull the locking bar out, stick it in a vise and bend it more. Now, to me, that's not the best option. So in the design phase of it, we wanted to come up with a system where the customer, if they wanted to apply more pressure to the door, they can. And it's very simple. All it is, you loosen the two bolts off, the adjuster plate is slotted, and there's a larger hole in the actual door lock cover. You slide the plate up to apply more pressure and slide it back to apply less. It really is that simple. And at least we don't have to tell customers, pull the bar out, stick it in the vise and bend it, because it's just not a feasible option. So moving around to the back, guys, this customer's gone with a couple of extras on top that aren't standard. Now he's gone with a shower tent on the rear of the vehicle, which, look, to be honest, is a great idea. It gives you somewhere for a toilet and obviously a shower. Now, the GTU comes standard with 23 zeros, 270-degree awning. They really are a good piece of gear. Trundle drawer. Now, central locking as standard, right, to the trundle drawer, which I know there's not a lot of people that actually offer, along with our rubber seals that get manufactured specifically for Core Offroad. Now, with the trundle drawer, it is an optional extra to go with a trundle drawer lid, which this customer has. Now, bench space, you can never have too much of it, especially in a touring vehicle. So we've been finding a lot of customers are going with our trundle drawer lid. They'll set their Dometic barbecue up on the back of it, their gas cooker back up on the trundle drawer. Majority of the time, the functional side of it, we have heaps of customers say, if I've got my barbecue on the back, how do I get into my trundle drawer? Now, once you've actually used a touring vehicle, majority of our customers, including myself, I keep recovery gear and tools in the trundle drawer. Now, I shouldn't ever need a snatch strap while I'm cooking on my barbecue, hope to God anyway. The trundle drawer lid is very functional along with the trundle drawer. As standard on the GTU, you get a C-deck package, so you get to pick from around 11 different colours of C-deck. Now the main thing with the C-deck, just stops things sliding around in your trundle drawer. Rear work lamps as standard. Another option that this customer went with is our dual colour deco kit. Now the dual colour side of it just adds another dimension to the canopy build. This customer really loved the General and the colour of the General. We went through and had a chat with him. In all honesty, the graphite colour with the light army green, it really does look classy. Look, come on through, we'll show you the driver's side. There's still plenty of features in the driver's side along with a heap of storage. Now, as standard, the GTU comes with a Joolca hot tap. So I'll give you a quick run through on the actual setup. So what we're running is a 5-arm bracket to actually mount the hot water system so that it can come out of the canopy. There is a hard mounting location inside the canopy so that the Joolca can be removed. Basically, sits back on. All of your hoses can be connected. There's both hot and cold taps along with the actual shower head. The main thing with the Joolca is that we wanted it to be quick and easy. If you do pull up and you want to go through and have a shower for the night, the last thing you want to be doing is spending 20 minutes, half an hour, setting everything up. So it's a quick connection. Down underneath, all of the taps are all color coded so that you can't actually get it wrong, along with a gas bayonet. For your hot water system. Last part, connect the actual shower head. Go through. Couple of minutes to set up for a shower. Can't really complain about that. So moving back through the driver's side of the canopy, one thing we find with a lot of customers is when we go through the passenger side of the canopy and the layout, they always get the impression that there's nothing left on this side. So when we bring customers around to the other side of the canopy, they're always quite impressed with how much room they still have on the driver's side. There's a lot of things that people always forget that they've got to take with them. Camping chairs, table, bits and pieces. You've got to store clothes with you. You know, you're going to throw a packet of water in there. You're going to throw some fishing gear in there. When you go through and add all them things up, there's a lot of gear that you actually have to take with you. From our experience in touring, it's them things that we factor into with our designs. So in the driver's side, we basically have a his and hers storage drawer. Currently this side's got all the hoses for the hottie in there. This particular customer wanted another lockable section inside the canopy, so the drawer locks are lockable on this model. But look, still plenty of room. You got to think when you do go, you've got to take a beach towel with you. You've got to throw clothes. If it's cold weather, you're going to have a pair of long pants and a jumper with you. You know, so having enough storage for clothing is critical. Moving along, it isn't a standard feature, but it is an option with our GTU model that you can go to an additional fridge. Now, this customer has, what we've factored in is Dometic's CD30 drawer fridge. Now, it can be used as a freezer as well. In our filming, we had a few drinks in there for the camera crew. To be honest, the first time I've ever used one, and the little unit really does well. It's compact, it's neat, it's tidy, it's not too high. You know, we have a lot of customers say to us, oh, I want to put a chest fridge on the off side of the canopy. In all honesty, by the time you have a chest fridge that's 500mm high plus your fridge slide, it's starting to get very high. With the CD30, it's low, it's compact, and it's very usable. As standard with the GTU, we've got our 300 litre per minute air compressor on the other side. It comes standard with a 9-metre air hose reel. Now that 9-metre hose is more than enough if you are towing a boat or a camper trailer or anything behind you. It will be long enough to go back and also do the trailer wheels. Clip track storage inside, so that if you do need to tie anything down, you've got hold down points and cargo tie down. Once again, C-deck on the inside just to stop things from sliding around. Internal lighting is standard. Once again, LED auto lamps. There's not one part of these things that are ever skimped out on a cheap light. All of the gear that goes into our canopies is honestly the best that we can buy. Driver's side compartment for storage, little things like tools, fishing gear, air hose, tyre deflators. We've got a little ventilation section here for the CD30, along with 12-volt socket, twin USB, internal lights, and air compressor. Once again, our rubber seals that we have manufactured just for Core. 3mm alley mud guards, under tray boxes, mud flaps. They really are quite a good little package. So come through, we're going to give you a quick rundown on the pump and filtration side for the GTU. Now, this customer wanted to have a filtration system not only for fill, but for also when you're draining your water tank. Imagine yourself out in the scrub, you come across a little creek, the water looks okay, you're not 100% sure. Now, we always advise customers to be careful with filling from creeks and things like that because you're always unsure of the water quality. What we designed up for this customer was basically a valve system. So on all of our canopies, the tanks get filled from the actual drain tap at the back, so there's no filler point. Basically filling your tank from the bottom is always the best way to go. You're not going to get an airlock or air bubbles or anything in your system where you think the tank is full. When you go through and fill the tank, you basically close these two valves, plug your hose in, open the tap. We've then got dirt and sediment filter and then also chemical. So it will filter the water going into the tank. Once your tank is full, the water comes out the breather out on the headboard. Open one valve again, which will then let the water come from the tank through your top degree water counter and back out to your kitchen and hot water system. Now, as standard, in the GTU, you get a SureFlow water pump. This customer wanted to go with our optional extra for the filtration system, along with a fire extinguisher for the kitchen side. Now, just touching on the fuel system as well, on all of our canopies, the fuel filler is integrated into the under tray box. With the central locking the under tray boxes, it keeps everything safe, tucked away, and no one can ever get into your fuel system. A couple of the other optional extras that Core Offroad also look after with customers, we've got a range of rooftop tent options, both with iCamper and 23.0. So look, we go through, work in with a customer, find out what they're chasing. Some customers may want to just run swags. This customer's gone with the iCamper 4X, along with Core Offroad's solar package. So up on top of the roof, there's 200 watt panels. With the solar package, with our iCamper kit, you also get power inside the rooftop tent. So you have a twin USB point and a 12 volt socket outlet. The 200 watt panels pump out around 8 amps. Moving forward, one of the other ones is gas storage. So for this customer, we've gone through, he has two 2 kilo bottles. Now you think when you're at home, your 9 kilo barbecue bottle that you have on your barbie, you might cook on it a couple of times a month. You know, you'd be lucky to replace that 9 kilo bottle in a year. With the 2 kilo bottles, you've got one spare. So it's only going to be running your gas hot water system, which is instantaneous, and it uses next to no gas. So with the 2 bottles, you can actually go through. When one empties, you know you've got 2 to 3 weeks left of touring before you're going to run out. Some of the other optional extras we have is roof rack systems. We manufacture our own backbones that are designed to be level with our canopies, along with work lamps, the camp lights, a full range of accessories from shovels. Now this customer's also gone another 100 watt panel on the roof rack, so that's given him 300 watts of solar to keep his 12 volt system fully charged. With the 3 panels, we're running around 12 amps of input. 2 fridges running. Between the 2 fridges, you're probably going to be drawing around 5 amps an hour on average. So we're always, with a 125 amp hour lithium battery, we're pretty well never going to run out of storage in our 12 volt system. Not only at Core Offroad do we manufacture the canopies, but we also do full turnkey packages. So this customer, he lives in New South Wales, so we went through, procured a new Ranger for him, GVM upgrade, electric side steps, custom paint to do a full blackout kit, towing mirrors, seat covers, J-Max 4-inch snorkel, LED light bar on the roof rack. We did new rim and tyre package, custom powder coated coils, and you'll see on this thing the customer's gone the dual colour. So with a lot of our themed builds, not only do we focus on functionality of our touring packages, but we also want them to look good. For a lot of us, our four-wheel drive is our sports car and it is our Ferrari. So there's no reason why you can't have a functional touring vehicle, but also have it look really good as well. Through to off-road animal, Predator bar, we did bonnet protector, custom paint on the grille, also dual colour by the boys at Fatal Effects. They do an unbelievable job. Colour-coded sensors, 12,000 pound winch with synthetic rope, GME UHF aerial, 2 more bull bar mounted STEDI lights. Now this customer went with a Telstra Selfie system. Now we've been fitting a lot of these to our touring vehicles. When you are out in the bush reception, it's always good to be in contact with family and have the option to let people know we're going to stay here for an extra week. The weather's good, we love the place, and people or friends and family at home aren't stressing out because they haven't heard from you for a while. So the Telstra Selfie system, essentially, as long as you have 1 bar of reception, it will boost your reception enough to make a phone call, send text messages, as long as you have that initial part of reception through the Telstra system. Moving back around, a custom paint on the infill panels with the dual colour by the boys at Fatal Effects. Electric side steps with custom colour coded strip. It really is a very tidy touring package. So look, for more information on Core Offroad's full turnkey packages, jump onto our website, get in touch with the sales team, and we'll definitely help you to get you out on the road and exploring Australia.